Good morning, guys, or afternoon, or evening, whatever you're doing while you're watching this video. I wanted to show you how to do some stuff with division. As I hinted to you in our daily warm-up video, division is going to look a little different this year, and so I want to go over some problems with you so that you can see how we're going to be solving them. So what I want to show you first of all today is a fraction. So right here I've got 16/4, okay? And so 16/4, if you remember from 5th grade, is an improper fraction, right? Because the numerator is much larger than the denominator. And so therefore it's improper because you could divide. So what I want you to think about when we're looking at fractions is that this is a division problem. Okay, fractions are division. Okay, it's the same thing as division. So even when we start working with more difficult fractions later on, you're gonna start to understand more about the division involved in fractions, okay? Okay, so 16/4 is division. So what it's the same thing as it's saying is divide 4 into 16, and whatever your answer is the equivalent of this fraction. So the answer to 4 divided into 16 is 4. So 16/4 is equivalent to 4, okay? All right, so keeping that in mind, I want to look at another, I'm going to try a different color pen because I'm not sure if the pink looks good. Okay, so I want to try another fraction. So if I have 51/5, okay? So I have 51/5. That's the same thing as saying divide 5 into 51, okay? So I'm going to go 5 into 51, okay? And when I divide 5 into 51, I'm going to get 5 into 5 is 1. That gives me 5. Subtract, and that leaves me with 0. And then I bring down my 1. And when I bring down my 1, I put a 0 because I can't do anything, right? 5 doesn't go into 1. So normally, old school, you would have stopped and you would have just gone R1. I have a remainder of 1, right? But we don't use remainders anymore in 6th grade. I already told you guys that. So what do we do? How do I answer this question, Ms. Rodriguez? Well, there's 2 ways that you could do it. Today, we're just going to look at one of them. One way that you could do it is you can convert that 1 to a fraction. Well, how do I convert the 1 to a fraction? I don't understand. We just divided the fraction. Yes, we did. But what we did was we divided 5 into 51. And had we done that in our heads, we would have said it was 10. And then there's 1 left over. Well, there's 1/5 left over. All right, so it's just like when you change an improper fraction to a whole number with a fraction, or otherwise known as a mixed number. Okay? If you are seeing a division problem like this, you must give me your answer in a fraction. If you get a division problem that's a fraction, you have to do a fraction answer, okay? So one more time, we'll look at a little bit more difficult of a problem. And remember, guys, if you're struggling with this, pause the video, go back to where you were like, oh, okay, I got this, but then I don't have it. Pause and go back to what you need to see again, okay? That's what the great thing about videos. Okay, so for the next one, let's use a harder one. We'll do 54/24 divided by 52. Okay? All right, so I've got 52 and I'm dividing it into 54. I'm sorry, I forgot to write the fraction. The fraction is 54/24 over 52. Okay? So we're trying to figure out what does it equal if I simplify it. Okay? So 52 goes into 54 one time. That gives me 52. I subtract, and that leaves me with 2. Now I bring down the 2. I cannot divide 52 into 22, right? Because the number is smaller. So I put a 0 here, and I go to my next number. I bring down my 4. Okay, well now how many times does 52 go into 224 times? Well, if I think really quickly, I might say, well, 50 goes into 100 twice. And then, so it has to go into 204 times. And I have 8 because 2 times 4. So that would give me enough. So I can go 4. And that's going to leave me with all right. Then we subtract, and 224 minus 28 is 16. So now, I have 16 left over. I could write it like that if I was in 5th grade. But now I write it like this. Oh gosh, I'm so sorry. Now I write it like this. Okay, so I take the remainder and I put it on top of a fraction. All right, hopefully that helps you understand that much better. So if you see a problem that looks like a wacky fraction and it's not telling you to do anything else, then what it's telling you to do is divide. Okay, so the same thing as if you see a problem written like this, it's the same thing as saying this. Okay, that's telling you divide. Okay, all right, hopefully that helps you with your work this week. And if you have any questions, remember to come to my help session on Thursday. I believe it's at 11 o'clock. I could be wrong. Check the calendar in Google Classroom under the calendar tab on my homepage. Not the Canvas calendar, my calendar on my homepage, okay? All right, you guys have a good day.